everybody, and thanks for joining Stamp with Tracy for tonight's Wow Wednesday. For tonight's Wow Wednesday, we're going to be using this awesome stamp set that's called Good Feelings. I absolutely love the sayings in there, and I love that they're so nice and big. They can be used for a lot of cool things. This was in the 2023 January through April mini catalog, but it did carry over, so it is still available in our current catalog to order. And you can find that on page 33, and it's item number 158737, and it's $24. We're going to be making a card tonight that is called a Flying Seagull Fun Fold card. So to start out, we need to have a piece of our basic cardstock that's going to be our card base. And we need it to be 8 1/4 inches long. So I'm taking a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I'm cutting off the edge so it's 8 1/4. Okay. So I make sure I have this going the right way. Okay, so this is 8 1/4 now. So I want the 8 1/4 going across the top. So we're going to be doing some scoring now. So we are going to score at, again, the 8 1/4 is going across the top. 2 1/4, 4, and 6 1/4. Open up this guide because my 6 1/4 is right past the edge there that guide was in the way. Okay, so now we have that. Now we're going to take and we're going to turn our cardstock. So now I have my 8 1/2 going across the top, and I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4. So that gives us 2 pieces, and that's what we need to make our flying seagull. Okay, so now we're going to do our folding, and we want our 2 1/4 inch on the outside. Okay, so I have the 2 1/4 inch out here and the 2 1/4 inch out here. First one, we'll start with our piece on the left-hand side. We are going to do a mountain fold. So mountain fold means we want that fold to come up. And then our next two are going to be valley folds. So it's 2 1/4 is the mountain fold, 4 inches is going to be a valley fold, and then 6 1/4 is going to be a valley fold. And you want to burnish those folds really well. Again, on the other piece, 2 1/4 out here on my right-hand side, that's going to be my mountain fold. And then I'm going to have a valley fold at 4 and a valley fold at 6 1/4. So now I have my 2 pieces. This one here, you can see there's the valley, mountain, and this one here is just the opposite. We've got the mountain, valley. Okay? So now we're going to add our designer series paper. I'm using the By the Bay 6x6 designer series paper that was in the January catalog that did expire, the mini catalog. So this is retired paper. I just wanted to use this because it makes such a pretty card, but there's so many beautiful designer series paper in the new catalog that you could use. And you don't even have to use designer series paper. You could use another layer of cardstock and stamp on it. But tonight, just for the simplicity of it, we are going to go ahead and use the designer series paper. So I have cut my designer series paper. I have 2 pieces that are 2 by 4 inches. And we are going to glue those down, one on each end. And you want to try to have it the same all the way around. And then I'll put the other one on my outside there, over here, the one that matches that. And the paper looks a little bit different because there are different colors in it. And then when we come into this next inside piece, we're going to use 1.5 by 4. And that goes on the next section in. And again, coming in from the outside to the right on my other piece. And I love this oyster paper. It has the silver foil going through it. You can see that on there. Beautiful. Okay, so that's our designer series paper there. And then nothing goes on these two pieces because this is actually going to be glued down here. So what we put on here is a piece of designer series paper, but we need to have a base for it first, or some other kind of cardstock. So my base for this is a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece of basic white, whatever your cardstock base is. Okay, now the easiest way that I found to put this on was to go ahead and add my adhesive. And the reason that I do the adhesive on this piece is because this piece of the square 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 is just a little bit bigger than this. This does get a little tricky because it's sticky. And trying to get it laid out. There's got to be a better way, but I'm going to hold it here. If you can see with my fingers underneath of it, so it stays side by side. And then I'm going to take my piece of 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 and fix that right at the bottom and press that down. Okay, so now I have, like I said, this is just a little bit longer. So if you find it easier to put your 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, the adhesive on the back of that, then just make sure you don't come all the way out to the edge, because otherwise it'll stick out here on the back edge of the cardstock, and then it'll be closed down on here, and your fold won't fold right. So this is how it's going to fold into an envelope, a regular standard size envelope. Okay, so now on this here, as I said, you could use designer series paper. You could use something that you've stamped. What I chose to use was this awesome paper that came out. Again, it was from the January to April catalog, but it did carry over. It's our textured 12 by 12 shimmer paper. And there's 6 sheets in here. There's 2 of each color. We've got the balmy blue. I don't know if you can see how beautiful shimmery it is. And then we've got white and a beautiful shaded spruce. And I'm using the balmy blue because those colors go in here so well. So what I chose to do was, with my Versamark, I inked up my stamp that says "Sending sunshine and good feelings your way." And I inked it up with Versamark, stamped it on there, and then I used my embossing powder and my heat tool and added my white embossing powder to it. I was wondering how it would turn out because of the lines, the textured paper that it is, but I think it looks fine. It's a little hard to see on the camera, but in person it's really very easy to see. So we're now going to add that to the front of the card. And this will have 1/4 of an inch all the way around, top, bottom, side, and side. There we have it. And then we need to add a little bit of bling to it. And one of the new, one of the really cool items that are out are called opal rounds. And they were in the January to April catalog, but did carry over to the new annual catalog as well. And they have different sizes, and they come off very easily, and they stick. They have their own self-adhesive. So I like to use my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to take one of the large ones off and put that up in the left-hand side. And then I'm going to take and put 2 of the smaller sizes down here on the other side. So there you have what I call the seagull. Well, it's what its name is, the flying seagull. So that's where it sort of gets its name, is the way it looks when it's like that. And there you have what it looks like. And of course, when the recipient gets it, they can have it nice and standing up like that. So I hope you liked tonight's Wow Wednesday. I am starting something new, and it should be coming out next Wednesday, where I'll have like a class to go that you'll get free cards that are all cut and all the supplies you need to make it, except for the stamping. So if you don't have the stamp set, you can use something else with it, or you can add that to an order. So just by spending $40, you could get the class to go for the month, or your class escape. I haven't even decided what I'm going to call it yet, but I'm going to be posting that usually in the middle of the month, and then you have to the end of the month to place your order to be able to get that for free. Again, I'll be telling you more information about that next week. Again, the textured paper is available in the current catalog. You can find that on page 127 under specialty papers, and it sells for $10. And it's a very nice heavy cardstock that comes 12 by 12. And as I said, there's 3 different colors, and it's textured, and you could stamp on it, you can emboss on it, you can use it as a background. It's absolutely gorgeous. And that is available in the current catalog on page 127, as well as the Good Feelings stamp set that I used tonight. Again, that's on page 33. So if you would like to place an order, I'd appreciate it if your order's under $150, if you would use my May host code. And don't forget, of course, on my Wow Wednesdays, you need to like and comment. And I'll bring in another card that I made, very similar, just a little bit different. And you can see this is on the dark cardstock, how much that sending sunshine and good feelings your way comes out embossed on there. Absolutely love this one. And this one has the larger piece of the designer series paper with the oysters and that beautiful silver foil reflection in it. And then some designer series paper that's also in that set that has a little silver foil lines in it. So they are tonight's 2 cards, and I hope you enjoyed learning how to make a flying seagull card. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to both like and comment so you have a chance to win the 2 cards in tonight's video. Thanks again, everyone, for joining me, and happy stamping. Bye-bye.